Okay, we've been hearing what the politicians think about Boris Johnson's deal, and every time you speak to a politician they say that they know exactly what the voters want. So let's talk to some voters right now. I'm joined here by Peter Garstin, who owns a micropub in Dover and would like MPs to back the deal. He has no party affiliation but voted for the Brexit Party in the European elections. Charlotte Norton is a lawyer and Labour activist originally from Northern Ireland. She wants a second referendum. Conservative member Lacey Butcher supports Boris Johnson and wants Brexit to happen on the 31st of October, come what may. And Ayo Adesina, an IT contract worker who voted Leave in 2016 but now supports Remain. Okay, so let's just come to you then first of all, Peter. You want MPs to back the deal. Why?
Because we've been going on with nothing decided for 3.5 years now. It's time to put an end to this, put the country out of its misery. Frankly, I don't care now whether the deal is passed or whether we decide not to leave the EU, but I would prefer to leave the EU. That's how I voted in the referendum. We've really been messing around for 3.5 years with politicians of all sides saying not what they want, but what they don't want.
Charlotte, you want a second referendum.
Yes.
Tell us more about your perspective, your view of this deal.
So, I mean, as you were saying, it has been going on for 3.5 years. There was less time between the last general election and the most recent one. I think it's completely farcical to say that people know or what they voted for is what's happening now. I just think it's completely undemocratic to push ahead with any option that doesn't go back to the people to have another say. I would urge all MPs to vote against the deal. I'm aware my local MP, Jim Fitzpatrick, was actually on here quite earlier, and our local party has actually all been urging him for quite some time to reject Boris's deal to ensure that it goes back to the people, because that's what we want.
Vote for it, yeah. So what do you think about that?
So we're all lobbying him. The local party are quite angry. We're sending emails, we've had meetings. There's been quite a bit of fuss being kicked up. I mean, there's no way to hold him to account because he's stepping down, but we're hoping the next MP that's selected is going to be someone that will fully back a people's vote.
And so would you support any party in order to get that?
No. Because the Labour is the party that is promising to deliver a people's vote. The Conservatives want to push through Brexit, the Lib Dems want to revoke, both are anti-democratic. Labour's the only one supporting a people's vote.
The Lib Dems position is not undemocratic. They are saying if a general election happens before a referendum, they will revoke Article 50. If you don't agree with that, then don't vote for them. If they come from being the third party to actually being in power and saying they will revoke Article 50, then that's completely democratic. At the moment, we have now got a new version of Brexit, brand new, just yesterday. What is the rush that this has to rush through Parliament tomorrow? They have to vote it through. How come no one's got to scrutinise this? I was actually in Brussels yesterday and I was speaking to some MEPs. I'm from a sort of campaign group called RemainerNow. We're people that have voted Leave, but we have changed our mind. And over 3 years, we've got to learn a lot more about the EU and what it's all about. We should be allowed to have the state. I still have faith in the British people that we should be allowed to have our destiny. Why should we have Boris Johnson put through his version? What's the actual difference? They can't have it both ways.
Lacey,
but our destiny was decided back in 2016 when there was a democratic mandate to leave the European Union. And finally, it seems like it's actually going to be implemented on.
What do you think about general election? Because we're going to be having one pretty soon. How do you feel about that, all of you?
I mean,
Sooner the better.
I think we absolutely need one, but before we have one, we need an extension so that we can allow a people's vote. And ideally before an election, so that this is sorted, so an election can be on party manifestos rather than Brexit again.
But isn't that effectively tying up what your view is of what should happen before actually the wider electorate get to have their say?
No,
well, the wider electorate.
We should definitely have a people's vote before a general election.
Yeah.
This was started with a referendum. It has to be finished with a referendum. If we have a general election, it's just going to get muddled up. Who says who's going to win the general election? This is going to go on
Do you realise
forever
the
and ever and
precedent?
ever and ever.
Do you realise the precedent that was set if we simply abolish the democratic mandate back in 2016 without actually implementing it first? Do you realise what that would say about the faith we put in our politicians?
We are not overturning the democratic mandate of your people. At the end of the day, we had a referendum. We've gone through 3 years. We have got several versions of Brexit. It is not Boris Johnson was not elected. Boris Johnson was elected by a tiny performance. But he does not have a mandate.
I'm going to have to stop you there. We're right out of time. Thank you very much.